Okay, good evening, everyone. Continue with 3 minutes of Tehillim. We're now up to Perek, Tes, Zion, Psalm 16. And this psalm is often referred to as Michtam LeDavid. It's often actually said at Levaya, as we mentioned in the other previous psalm, previous Perek, just to highlight one pasuk that we may be familiar with and talk about perhaps why we read this at a Levaya. So in pasuk Ches, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, I have set Hashem before me always, ki mimini bal emot, for he is at my right hand and I shall not falter. This pasuk we often see, it's not on this aron, but it's in the artwork behind by the bima. It's very often found in shuls, and it's actually also found in the beginning of Orach Chaim. In the second comment that the Ramah makes to the Shulchan Aruch in Orach Chaim, he quotes this pasuk, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, hu kla gadol b'Torah. It's one of these primary principles in the Torah, and he explains it's a great level of tzaddikim that they understand that Hashem is always with them at all moments, not only in the public eye, but also in private. And he continues and says that, like, if a king was with you in your home, you would act differently, you would act with respect, and you would know that Hashem is even b'chadrei chadarim, even in the small inner chambers of a person's life. And it's interesting, trivia fact, this is a quotation actually from the Moreh Nevuchim. So if anyone asks you, where is the Moreh Nevuchim? It's not in the Mishnah Berurah, it's not in the Mishnah Berurah, but it's in the Shulchan Aruch, in the same book. So if you want to know where is the Moreh Nevuchim quoted in the Shulchan Aruch, so that's where it is in the first comment. So whenever I learned this when I was younger, I felt a little bit of pressure and frustration, like God's always hanging over you, like don't misbehave. It felt like this sort of, I don't know, like pressure and uncomfortability, and I didn't really feel so positive about this. So as I've been, I'm not so old, but as I've been maturing, I think about it. It really depends on your conception of Hashem. If you conceive of Hashem as an burdensome person, or I don't call it a person, but an entity in your life that's just creating pressure, then yes, you're going to feel that way about Hashem. But just as they say that Rav Levi Yitzchak Berditchev was asked he was told by an atheist, I don't believe in God, and he lists all the reasons, and then Rav Levi Yitzchak said, the God that you don't believe in, I don't believe in either. So it really depends on your conception of Hashem, and just to prove that this is not supposed to be a depressing and stressful concept, the next pasuk, Lachein samach libi v'yagel kavodi. The next pasuk Tes. It's for this reason that I rejoice in my heart and I'm elated and my soul is on fire. That my flesh rests in confidence that I know whatever happens to me in my life, Hashem is with me. And just if you weren't convinced by that, maybe that's my own shtickle Torah, the Ramah himself perhaps is teaching us this. Because if you look at his that's the first, or really the second comment, but right in the beginning of Orach Chaim, he says, Shavisi Hashem lenegdi samid. But if you look at the last comment that the Ramah makes at the end of Orach Chaim, it's about Purim Katan, which we had this year, Yud Dalet Adar Aleph. So he says, we don't paskin that you really have a chiyuv to make a suda. You don't have to make a party. But he says, Mikol Malkum Yarbik Tzas B'Suda Kedei Latzis Yidei Machmir. You should make a little party just for the stringent ones that say you should make a party. Why? V'tov Leiv Mishteh Tamid. He used the same word, Tamid, that it's a good thing to be happy. So maybe, perhaps, the Ramah is trying to make a sort of Gezerah Shav, a sort of connection that they started off the Sefer telling you, Shavis Hashem lenegdi samid, Hashem's with you always, even in the Chadrei Chadar. But don't feel that that's supposed to be a stressful, painful, overburdensome thing. No, remember, Tovli Mishta Tamid is supposed to be with joy. It's always benachas. It's always with Hashem with us, whatever happens in our lives.